First and foremost, thanks everybody for joining us. We got a funny spot, after lunch on the second day. I don't know how everybody else is feeling. I know how I'm feeling. Very, very tired, very tired. But we're here today to just share a little bit about our story and the things that we do that we believe are unique to our team specifically, maybe a little bit unique to the market as a whole, and we're going to get started. As Ken mentioned, we're with the REC Canada, or REC team, in Toronto. It was founded in 2006. I'm the Director of Operations at REC Canada. I'm also a partner at Brokers Playbook, which will become important in a little bit. And Simeon is a partner at Brokers Playbook and also the co-founder at REC Canada. He is the one who makes all the promises in the world, and then I have to deliver upon them. That's right. That's how our business model runs. Thanks, David.
I want to take a quick second to just point out and give really a big round of applause from all of us, including this room, both to you guys, but to Greer, Joe, and Nick. The Southern hospitality that you hear about regarding South Carolina or all the Southern U.S. is very real, and it's definitely left its mark on us. Last time we were here at Kiowa, and this is our very first Unite. So we're very excited to be on this stage, be here all together, and of course to return many, many times and make more memories with all of you. So we're very happy, and a big round of applause to you. Thank you. I'm gonna just kind of give you a quick outline of what we're gonna cover off today. Because it's our first Unite, we have explained our story probably about 15 times in the last 2 days. And it is a little bit unique, but we're actually going to take you through kind of my almost 20 years in the business very quickly and explain to you how we do things a little bit different up north. And also be able to bring you up to speed with our plan on how we believe and it's extremely important for you specifically right now as the NAR lawsuit has untangled. Your value proposition as an advisor to real estate buyers has never been more important. And I believe that our craft as investment-focused realtors is going to be having a huge impact in what your value proposition can be here in your local markets up north and everywhere for that matter. So I do want Bobby to lead the way and tell our story to you. And then we're going to delve into how what we have done for 20 years is something that every single one of you can easily replicate into your businesses with the potential to either double or triple your existing transaction count. We'll share that with you. Go ahead, Bobby.
So as I mentioned, REC Canada was founded in 2006 by Jazz Takar and Simeon Pop alias. It's had many different forms, but when I started with REC Canada in March of 2020, we were at 22 agents. Our current form is 35 agents active with us right now. Last year we were the number 3 team across all of Royal LePage, which is Canada's largest brokerage house. The number 3 team in both GCI, that's gross commission income, and volume. In 2019 we were the number 1 team. The last 5 years consecutively we've been in the top 3 in both metrics, and we've been in the top 10 for the last decade as well. The REC Canada team sort of has a myriad of business pillars. The 35 agents themselves run their own business, and they fly the flag of REC Canada. The core team, that's Jazz, Simeon, myself, a couple of other directors. We use investment-focused real estate as our core pillar. Always for the mom and pop investor, the teacher, the engineer who want to own more real estate but don't necessarily know how. And we leverage our 35 agents as boots on the ground in order to fulfill upon a lot of those mandates. Think all of Toronto, about 100 miles in every direction. East, west, south is the lake, and 100 miles north. We cover it with our team. And this model has produced for us an average transaction count of about 500 transactions annually since I started with the team in January of 2020. We run the whole thing with KV Core. REC never had a scalable model inside of itself. No technology could match the potential production of the 22 agents that were there when we started. So when I started with REC Canada, it was January, March of 2020. My very first initiative was to implement KV Core. And just as we went to implement our amazing CRM ecosystem, we were told to go home. At the time, REC Canada, like I mentioned, had 22 agents, and they were also told to go home and stay home for 2 weeks, and the COVID-19 pandemic would have rectified itself. And 3 years later in Canada, we're still just coming out of lockdowns at different points. It was wild up there. So what did we do? We got to work implementing KV Core and other associated systems so that our agents could be as active in their databases as we needed them to be. Active in their databases is a very important point. Nobody had lead generation. We couldn't go out and show a home. We couldn't sit at the kitchen table with anybody any longer and do a listing presentation. Our agents were stuck, and they needed a system that they could implement in order to get more active in their databases. Simeon, it was a question to you. What was your training to the agents at that particular point?
Yeah, I mean, the onset of the pandemic was a heck of a time because we actually didn't know what was going to happen. It's easy to be speaking of the greatest time in North American history for real estate now, but in March of 2020, we actually didn't know if we could sell real estate, if the real estate market would collapse. Would it go up? Would it go down? Nobody knew. It went up astronomically as the cost of borrowing went to zero. There was negative interest rates at some point. They were paying us to spend money. But that resulted in a confused, at the time, real estate agent industry. And for us, we were not going to come off our best year on record ever, being the #1 team in the entire country of Canada that year, and take it laying down. So we got on Zoom calls immediately with our agents, and we trained them how to sell real estate from home. And how can you sell real estate from home? The only thing you can sell without showing is something that's off plan. And that's when we became what is now known as one of the biggest pre-construction teams in North America, period. Because it's scalable. There's nothing for me to show any of you. You're working off the developer's reputation, you're working off the developer's website floor plan, and you're buying something that you know as a fact will look something like the picture at the end. For any of you who have sold off-plan before, you know it's not easy because there is no point of reference. So you have to create and be better at building an experience for someone. And that is what we were teaching. But the ultimate part of what we taught was actually breaking down the math and explaining to any one consumer how our counsel, how our advice can make them astronomical amounts of money. Returns that they would never dream of in the market today. Once they understood that, sales started skyrocketing. During this time, we did over 250 deals a year, just our team, to the database that we already had. Not spending a single dollar on marketing, nobody would see our billboard anyways. What we were able to see during this time is a tremendous influx of attention from the agent industry on various platforms. I think this is your favorite.
It is my favorite. One of the things that we did, because I think any self-respecting real estate professional just does this, we got loud on social media. Anybody remember Clubhouse? Does it still exist? It does, eh? It does? So we started to get a little bit loud on Clubhouse, and what we found was that thousands of people were coming into our rooms and sort of listening to this message. So the first thing that our Clubhouse learnings turned into was the Broker's Playbook podcast. Shameless plug. Follow us wherever you listen to your podcast. I'll even give you a moment right now.
You're funny.
But the louder we got, the more and more agents wanted to join our team. And in March of 2022, we hit our peak agent count of 63 agents. And immediately, what happened? Every system we have broke. Our dedicated administrator couldn't keep up. My bandwidth was eroded completely. Worst of all, we found that the agents themselves didn't know everything that they needed to know. There's actually a very low fundamental real estate level of knowledge in some cases, but we definitely found out that they didn't know anything about investment real estate the way that Jazz and Simeon did. So another aha moment was upon us, and we decided to create the Broker's Playbook Academy. Shout out to Verl Workman. I don't know if he's here in the room. Verl was instrumental in helping us develop what has now become a core training for both our team, but other agents at large.
No, our team is definitely Verl Workman Success System certified, 100%. No doubt about it. And really and truly, guys, the vertical that we're here to speak today with you, and the reason you're going to leave here empowered is because you will know today a very fundamental script that you will be able to use tomorrow to create transactions and deals. Agents need to understand the gold mines that is inside their offices. It's your CRM, your Boomtown, your KV Core. You are not at this conference because you can't sell real estate, and I'm not going to teach you how to do it better. You're already the greatest at it. What you don't know is that your existing clients can do a lot more if you show them how. If you have the tools to prove to them why you are the right advisor to take them down a specific path. What do you say? What do you present with? What are your tools? The tools that you use are called proformas. The type of conversation you have is called an intake. The following steps that you're going to take after this conversation is called a real estate action plan. These are all things that we do today in our business in Canada. REC has been doing this for 20 years. That's our real estate company. We are working and consulting with the biggest brokerage in the entire country to build out their version of an investment arm, which is the most exciting project I've ever worked on in my life so far. And we are working actively to try to bring all of this together for anybody to use anywhere. Because the biggest missed opportunity that all of us have is not becoming consultants and staying as agents, where we are a commodity and we are treated as such after this very settlement that we witnessed in the US. As if anybody will ever question my value to a buyer. I know what I do for my buyers. I know I protect them. I will never allow anyone to tell me that I will not earn my life by giving great advice and taking it seriously. So every single one of you will have that opportunity to learn what to say, when to say it, and how to look at real estate differently, where you can become an advisor and a consultant to your clients, never being questioned for the money that you earn by giving that advice. Bobby?
So the Academy and the podcast created a highly engaged group, a community. We call them collaborators. We knew that we had their ears at least once a week with the podcast, and if they were in one of our training cohorts, as many as 3-4 times a week, them being highly engaged with what the program is and how to implement it into their businesses. But the biggest takeaway that we had from all of this was that we actually could just collaborate with them. We can help them do a deal. And it was from there that the Broker's Playbook Marketplace was born. The Marketplace is a first of its kind, we believe. A collaborative ecosystem that allows you, the agent, to connect your database directly to investment opportunities. Real-time availability, real-time analytics, insights from builders, developers, and experts like Simeon. The Marketplace actually empowers you and your client to make unparalleled investment decisions. Our collaborators can access opportunities in real time, which is akin to going builder direct anywhere in the country of Canada so far. This should enable absolute authority in your business. Right, Simos?
Indeed, my friend. So I think what I want you guys to come across today is, because we're going to get into some of those techniques that I mentioned a second ago. What you see on the projector here today doesn't exist in this iteration yet. This is something that we have internally and we have used in Canada for about 7 years, a very simplified version. This is in development right now, and it should launch more than likely by the fall of this year, where artificial intelligence and machine learning are going to drive automatic pro formas for every single one of you to use. So just like Zillow can give you an estimate of a valuation of a home, our platform will be able to give you a valuation, but as well as other metrics such as rent in the area, HOA fees and expenses, bringing it all in and running, whether it's a acquisition cap rate or a return on investment based on your cash into the deal. So it is going to make your life extremely easy in running those numbers. And there is going to be a wait list for that. You'll have a chance to engage with us. But what I wanted to talk about the authority today, because you mentioned that, in the marketplace and all of this coming together. How many of you have been selling real estate for more than 5 years? That's everyone in the room. If you were to call your client who you sold a home to in 2018, and you ask them a very simple question, which is, how are you? Not a difficult call to make. I'm giving you a quick call today, Jim, because I drove by the neighborhood and I was looking at your house. I sold you that house for $450,000 in 2018. And I was absolutely shocked when the house down the street from you last week sold for $950,000. Your house has more than doubled, Jim. I cannot believe how great of a buy we made that day in 2018. Jim is going to be like, hell yeah, yeah, it's a good day. It's a great day. I made me $500K net, said Jim. But that's not the reason for my call, Jim. The reason for my call, Jim, is I have negotiated a tremendous opportunity for my clients. I was speaking to Related, the biggest developer in the United States. Of course I do, says Jim. I was speaking to their vice president, and their vice president is really, really happy to be working with me and my team because we bring to them qualified investors for their new project coming down to Charleston next month. It's going to be down at the beach, master plan community, gorgeous, all the things that Related would do. It's going to be a gated community. It's going to be all the rage in Charleston, right beside the university or right beside the hospital, right on the transit corridor. You're going to focus on location and a great builder. But the reason for my call, Jim, is I want you to be involved in this project. I want you to trust me like you did in 2018, when I sold you this house, and I told you that this is a great idea, that you will be fine. It turned out I made you a millionaire. And I want you to do that again, and I want to be the one that helps you take it to the next level. As a matter of fact, you'll only have to put down 20% over the course of the next year, whatever the case may be, as per the deposit schedule that the builder will have. I want you to spend a few minutes with me in my office while I take you over the paperwork, which is a case study, for you to understand exactly how your money is going to affect this and every other component of your life over the next 5 years. Because that $100,000 that I'm asking you to put down with the builder is going to be worth $300,000 in 5 years. But I don't want to talk about it, I want to show you. And I'm going to show you using a pre-construction or new construction pro forma, where it lays out your deposits, the expenses as they come, the expenses of what's expected on closing, and more importantly, how the expenses all flow while you own it as a rental property. Will the rent cover the mortgage payment? Will there be enough income to cover expenses, property management, and all the various things? I'm going to go over that with you, Jim, and you will have a perfect understanding of how this purchase is going to add value and wealth to your portfolio. Many things happened in that conversation. A, does anybody here think that's a very difficult call to make? It's an easy call to make. Should you have the tools to use a pro forma to build? Do you think it's difficult to do, or do you think this is data we have access to every single day? We have access to all this data. If all of you were to make 20 phone calls to the 20 people you sold real estate to in 2017 and 2018, pick your top 10 from each year, how many do you think you could convert today? Anybody? How many do you think you can convert? 2? 4? 6? Adding 6 deals to this year's production would do wonders for all of us, would it not? 2023 was a disaster. This is a way for us to be in control of our business. Because this is business that you can create not based on seasonality, but based on absolute will and drive to succeed. You can find limitless projects that make a tremendous amount of sense to the right buyers. But you're not calling them because of life events. Right now, every single one of you is the best residential agent you can possibly be. That's why you're here. You're top 1%ers. You know how to sell real estate. But right now, you either take out a billboard, you get on a bus, you need to run into people as life happens to them. Getting married, somebody passed away, somebody's going to university, somebody's doing something, they're doing life. I'm telling you that you can call them and do life for them. You can't call someone and say, hey, do you want to meet somebody new today and buy a bigger house? You're not going to have your kid move to South Carolina to go to university if they're not going to university. That's life has to happen. That's residential real estate. I'm telling you that inside your business today, you're not going to spend a single penny on marketing. The only thing you're going to do is put a special campaign together. And should technology do what Mr. Bobbert over here wants it to do, inside your KV core will be campaigns ready for you to deploy to your existing databases to create these deals in your local markets. So investment real estate in my opinion, is your only tool to guarantee success as a buyer agent and add dozens, if not hundreds of deals per year to your existing businesses with nobody questioning your value, with everybody thanking you and referring you as a consultant and advisor. That's where we see it, Bobby.
Yeah. So how do we do it? We use the Broker's Playbook marketplace that I just shown you, and we send our agents there. We empower them to shop the marketplace, simply submit a reservation form, and they understand that their own databases are then protected. It goes directly into their KV Core platform. I threw Boomtown up here because shout out. And the profile itself updates. The transaction records are all there. All of the paperwork is there. We use DocuSign Rooms to then continue to push out documents. But everybody always finds an elephant in the room. So we do all of this administrative work. What's in it for the agent? Well, they make a lion's share of the commission. For access to the platform, the property analysis tools, the submission, the associated administrative paperwork, dealing with the builder.
This is our business model today. This is what we do.
Literally, with our team. Okay? You, the agent, who actually brought the client to the deal, makes 75% of the commission. Standard referral, common referral. For our access points, 25%. For you, a lion's share of the dollars. And a really big aspect of this is that a majority of the deals that we're doing fall in between 4 and 7% commission. So on the low end of that, you're walking away with 3% commission, which I would have to assume is commonly greater than your list side and buy side ends. So it can be a real pillar in your business from a money-making perspective too. Not only are you becoming a trusted advisor in real estate, you're growing wealth with your individual clients, but you're making bank too. The ecosystem that we're working within reaches end to end. We do our darndest to never cut anybody out of a deal, ever. The developer comes to us because it's a new way to showcase their product in an interesting and investor-focused way. The marketing or listing agency, some of you may actually be on the list side of these new developments. It's a way for you to market differently as well. For you, the realtor, like I mentioned, empowerment, education, and a way to make money. And for your consumers, the one thing that I hear the most when we're back home is that I just drove by XYZ condos on Main Street. It says sold out. What do I do? I wish my agent knew where to go. Now, everybody knows where to go. So the process points are simple. We take the REC Canada team and the agents, we have them work inside of the marketplace. A reservation form is submitted and their KV Core profiles actually handle a majority of what needs to happen next. That little building there is the moneymaker. You've then just sold a unit at any particular property, and a commissionable dollar comes down the line. Very, very simple. It's a seamless experience from our team all the way through this to not just the commissionable dollar, but an investable product for the end user as well. We have done this 250 times in 18 months. This is above and beyond regular business pillars. This is something that we've then inserted and used the technology to create 250 deals since its initial iteration launched. When was that, my friend? About 18 months ago.
Yes,
right?
sir. And this is with people outside. This is the actual beta test that we did before, while we figured we had something cool on the go. We did launch it outside our team to test it, and we were able to write 250 deals, creating almost $4.5 million of GCI. And of course, doing so on the traditional and customary referral type of deal. Every single agent was beyond pleased to do the extra deals that they had no access to before. And of course, we facilitated the entire thing with a 25-point referral. So it was a phenomenal test that paid dividends, and of course the absolute proof we needed to know that other agents can do this too. So that's kind of how we did it in Canada, exactly based on the script that I gave you earlier today. Bobby?
We're moving so fast. I think we've only got 4 or 5 slides left, my friend. 15 minutes. Everybody can have their post-lunch nap. Great. If we keep going. So where do we stand today? Like I mentioned before, the REC Canada team is 35 agents strong. Not 63, but 35 highly optimized, well-educated, technologically savvy agents that utilize this within their current books of business. Where we're going, and Simeon mentioned, Investor's Edge with Royal LePage Canada, where we hope that all 23,000 agents can then leverage a system of this nature in order to do one deal a little bit better. And what about you guys? Is there any interest in perhaps us coming here and helping you do these things too? We would love to be able to do that. And we think that it's possible because of the good people of IRE. There. Is there? That was a hook. Yeah, you nailed it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. So thanks again for having us down. That's actually the entire presentation. So we're hopeful that we can open it up to some questions. But what we'd like to be able to do is also have you join the community. We're gonna make it ultra simple. You're gonna see the projects that we have available to us today up north. You can follow the podcast. You can consider joining our training cohorts, all of the things. We simply want each and every one of you across the entire IRE universe to be collaborators with us. That's our only goal in this business. And just once again, from me, before he goes off on a 20-minute tangent to fill time, right? Thank you for having us here. We love Charleston. We love IRE. You guys are amazing.
I don't have 20 minutes for you guys. I simply want to thank every single person who attended this here today, but specifically the IRE entire team for supporting us for the last 4 years and allowing for all this to actually happen. Also a big shout out to, now I saw Verl came into the room, to Verl Workman, who I specifically used Workman Success Systems as my absolute foundation to build our team's business and as a standard of why we went from 63 agents down to 35. For anybody wondering if I had any people leave the team, I did not. I took people off the team that were inefficient and not in line with our values and vision. And Verl Workman is possibly one of the best and most pragmatic leaders I've worked with, and I take his advice very seriously. So thank you for that, Verl. I appreciate you.
Verl, shout out, because it was actually at dinner in Oakville, Ontario, that we had this exact conversation. We implemented it, and we are a more lean machine at this point, and a lot of it's you, my friend. Thank you.
Cheers to that. Everyone, please join our community. Thank you for having us. We appreciate you. Thank you.